अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरम् अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरम् हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं वेणुर्मधुरुर्रेणुर्मधुरुर् पनीर्मधुरपदो मधुरो वेणुर्मधुरुर्रेणुर्मधुरार्पणी मधुरा पदौ मधुरो नित्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं नित्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं करणं मधुरं चरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं रमणं मधुरं करणं मधुरं चरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं रमणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा जमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरं गुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा जमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरं कलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरम् हृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेर् अखिलं मधुरं हृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेर् अखिलं मधुरं गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा जष्टिर्मधुरा शिष्टिर्मधुरम् गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा जष्टिर्मधुरा शिष्टिर्मधुरम् दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेर् अखिलं मधुरं दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेर् अखिलं मधुरम् अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरम् अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रा सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita discussion. So we covered up to some verses in second chapter. Anyone remembers how much we covered last time?
Oh, yeah, discussing Bhagavan
Yeah, so 2.2 only. Yeah. Yeah, we discussed about that. I remember. 15, right? Yeah, I was also thinking like that. Uh,
because the conscience, those going on conscience versus Krishna, and also the universe is not a conscience. After that, the fourth
no, that is in the first chapter. We started second chapter.
no, I think it's not a surrender.
Surrender verse. Oh, 2.7. Yeah, let me check it once again. Just let me check in my copy. Just a minute. Yeah, so last time I did not update. That is why we are having difficulty. So in the seventh verse, 2.7 we completed, right? Yeah. Then from where we came to this Mayavad? In some. Okay. Hmm. So fine. Let us start from 2.7 only. This is a few. This is a very important verse. So first of all, in the second chapter, what is happening? In the first chapter, Arjuna had four questions, means four arguments. So I think you remember the arguments. So let me just recapitulate. First one is that I am having compassion for these relatives, so I cannot kill them. Second is that Arjuna was thinking that with whom I will enjoy, no enjoyment. Third is sinful reactions. I will incur sinful reactions by killing all them. And fourth one is destruction of the dynasty. And now the fifth argument comes in the seventh verse of second chapter, that is indecision. Karpanya dosha apahata swabhava. Right? Yeah. So from 2.2 onwards, Krishna is chastising Arjuna because Arjuna is not displaying the behavior of an Arya. So that is why Krishna is telling Kutastvam Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupasthitam Anarja Justam Aswargam Akirtikaram Arjuna. Go Arjuna, what you are doing? How have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy. Then in the third verse, Krishna said, O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading importance, it does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of the heart and arise, O chastiser of enemy. Then Arjuna again says, O killer of the enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows? in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship. So Arjuna is not willing to fight against Bhishma and Drona. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So, then further he says, nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we would not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on this battlefield. So now I am confused about my duty. So that is 7th verse. Karpanya doshopahatas svabhava pritchami tam dharma sammodacheta yashreyasan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadimam tam prapannam. So now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of my miserly weakness. In this condition I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So in the second chapter also we have some breakdown of the verses. That means different sections are there in one chapter. Just a minute. So this Bhagavad Gita. So basically Krishna will refute the arguments of Arjuna in the second chapter. I think last time we showed the breakdown. Let me show once again overview of Bhagavad Gita. Gita Overview. So in this we can see chapter 1 4 arguments. Chapter 2 comes the fifth argument, Karpanna dosha pahata swabha, Arjuna's indecision, Lord's chastisement and accepting Krishna as Guru. This is covered in first 10 verses. Then 11 to 30 Krishna explains Jnana and Sankhya Yoga, analysis of body and soul. So by discussing this philosophy of soul, Krishna is refuting the compassion argument. Arjuna was telling that, oh, they will die, they are my relatives. So Krishna tells you are not this body. So first of all, don't think they are your relatives. They are just connected to this body, but you are not this body. And secondly, if you kill them, they will not be slain. Nainam chindanti sastrani nainam dahati pavaka nachainam kledayantyapuna shosheti maruta. The soul cannot be killed. Na hannate hannamane sharire. So by discussing Atma Tattva or the science of soul, Krishna refuted the arguments of compassion. Then in the verse number 31 to 37, Krishna explains Sakam Karma Yoga. So Arjuna was telling that with whom I will enjoy. So now Krishna says that if you want to enjoy, do your prescribed duty. By following your prescribed duty, you will go to heaven and there you can enjoy. So your argument was that with whom I will enjoy. I am saying you, if you do your prescribed duty, you will have opportunity for ample enjoyment. Next comes 38 to 53. Krishna discuss about Niskam Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, detached work without reaction. So this is refutation of sinful reaction argument. So Arjuna was telling sinful reactions will be incurred. Krishna says, I am telling you to do your prescribed duty without attachment. When you do without attachment, without expecting the fruit of an action, the karma phal or the reaction of that work, you will not have to suffer the reactions if you do in a detached manner. So your sinful reaction argument is also refuted. And in the third chapter, Krishna refutes the argument of destruction of the dynasty. So Krishna says that Krishna says that Yajjat acharati shreshtas tatta devetaro jana sajat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. So Arjuna's argument was that if I kill these warriors, so their wives will be unprotected, and from such unprotected women, we will get unwanted progeny, or we will get Varna Sankar. So now Krishna says, if you do not fight, you are not working or you are not performing the prescribed duties of a Kshatriya. So you are not following your Varna and you are in a respectable position in a society. So according to the principle yad yad acharati shreshtas tattadeve tarojana sajat pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. So following you, many people will not perform their prescribed duties. And if such things happen, like nobody is performing their prescribed duties, so then unwanted progeny will come, because they will not be enough religious. So Krishna reverted the argument. If you follow your prescribed duty, progeny, the purity of your next generations will be preserved. And if you do not fight, you are not following the duties of a Kshatriya, and in the same manner, coming generations, they will be also polluted. So like that, Krishna actually devastated all the arguments of Arjuna. So let us understand one by one. Yeah, so now Arjuna is confused about his duty. He does not know what to do. Hmm. Yeah, so Arjuna now became very much confused about his duty, what to do. So Arjuna is showing us one principle, that whenever we are in some problem or confusion, we must approach Guru. Sisyasteham sadhimam tam prapannam. Okay, let us proceed to the next verse. Yeah. I can find no means to drive away the grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth, with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. So Arjuna is telling that I am so much grief stricken that if I get even the Swargaloka, I cannot fight, or that will not take away my grief. I am so much grief stricken. Nahi prapashyami mama, nahi prapashyami mama panudyad यच्चोकम् उच्चोषणमिन्द्रियाणम् अवप्य भूमौ असपत्नामृद्धम् राज्यं सुराणाम् अपि चाधिपत्यम्. Suranam means of the demigods. If I get the Rajya of the demigods also, I will not be happy. Okay. Then Srila Prabhupada quotes many important verses like the qualifications of a guru. Who can be a guru? So Krishna is an acting as a spiritual master of Arjuna, who is dispelling the ignorance of Arjuna and thus helping Arjuna. So who can be such guru? Kiba Vipro Kiba Nasi Shudra Kenanoi Jai Krishna Tattveta Sei Guru. You have to know the science of Krishna. This is not according to your birth. You can be Vipra or a Brahmana. You can be Nasi or a Sannyasi. Or you even can be a Shudra. But Jai Krishna Tattveta Sei Guru. One who is master in the science of Krishna. He is a perfect and bona fide spiritual master. Satkarma Nipuno Vipra Tanta Visharada Avaishnava Guru Nasyad Vaishnava Sapacho Guru. A scholarly Brahmana expert in all subject of Vedic knowledge is unfit to become spiritual master without being a Vaishnava, or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. So if you are not a Vaishnava, you can be a good Brahmana, very perfect Brahmana. But if you are not a Vaishnava, you cannot be Guru. And on the other hand, Avaishnava Guru Nasad Vaishnava Swapacho Guru. Even if one is born in a family of Chandala or Swapacha, if he or she is a Vaishnava, they can be Guru. So this is the actual qualification of Guru. Right? So through this Guru Shishya Parampara, we have to hear the science of Krishna. Then only we will get benefit. So then Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna. 9th sloka. Sanjaya uvacha evamuktva ऋषिकेशं गूढाकेशं परन्तप नयोत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्ता तुष्णीं बहुहुवा. Okay, so Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, the chastiser of the enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Final declaration, I shall not fight. Okay, fine. So then, what happens? Tam uvacha rishikesha prahasan eva bharata. So Sanjay is saying that, Senayoruvayar madhye vishidantam imam bacha. O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. Now Krishna is starting to impart knowledge on Arjuna. So now, first of all, Krishna spoke in this chapter in 2.2. So that was chastisement. So now this is the actual knowledge. Krishna is starting this one. 11 to 30, Jnana or Sankhya Yoga, the knowledge of soul. Krishna is starting. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asuchan Anvasocastam Pragyavadamscha Bhashase Gatashu Nagatashumscha Nanusochanti Pandita. Asuchan Anvasocastam. Asochan means not worthy of lamentation. Soch means, so in Hindi it is said that सोच में पड़ गए, मतलब in a lamenting condition, बहुत चिंता में पड़ गए. Asuch one means something which is not worthy of lamentation. Anvasochastam, you are lamenting for those things which are not worthy of lamentation. Here what is being referred as asocyan? Can you say? Which thing Krishna is telling that you are lamenting for, but that is not worthy of lamentation? Any idea? What Krishna is referring as asocyan means that which is not worthy of lamentation. But Arjuna is lamenting for that thing. Which is that thing?
Feeling of his apparently.
Yeah, basically the body. The body is nothing but some non-living things. This has no consciousness. So Arjuna is basically lamenting for the bodies of his relatives. So there is one very important verse in third canto Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Brahmaji starts creating, so Brahmaji creates 5 items of avidya. So Brahmaji is creating 5 items of avidya because Brahmaji is given the task of secondary creation in this material world. So to do that, the material world, the root of this material world is avidya. If you are in proper knowledge, you will not come to this material world. Yes, so this is this verse. Sasarja chaya avidyam pancha parvanam agrata tamishram andhatamishram tamo moho mahatama. So the 5 items of avidya is, first of all, tamas, then comes moha, then comes mahamoha, then comes tamishra, and then andhatamishra. So Brahmaji starts creating the secondary creation, and as a part of it, Brahmaji creates 5 items of avidya. What are those 5 items? First of all, tamas or ignorance. Tamas means ignorance. Then, due to this ignorance, you forget your eternal identity as the servant of Krishna. So forgetting this eternal identity is ignorance. Then comes moha. Moha means you forget your eternal identity and accept something that is not you. That means the body. Thinking I am this body is moha. Forgetting I am eternal servant of Krishna is tamas. Then comes I am this body, moha. Then comes mahamoha. Thinking everything in relation to this body as mine. So that is mahamoha. Then comes tamishra. So when our possessions are challenged, someone claims our possessions that this is mine, this does not belong to you, and someone snatches our possessions. So that time we become angry. So that is tamishra. And at the point of death, our most near and dear possession, that is our body, that body is taken away. So in that stage, our frustration becomes maximum. So that stage of maximum frustration is called anthatamishra. So these are the 5 items of avidya. So now Arjuna is lamenting for this body. So in moha and mahamoha, these are the characteristics. Thinking everything in relationship with this body as mine. So that is why Krishna is telling that asochvan anva sochastam. That which is not worthy of lamentation, you are lamenting for that. And pragyavadam bhasuse. And you are talking like a pandita, that our destruction will be destroyed, sorry, our dynasty will be destroyed, I will incur sinful reactions, I as a kshatriya, it is my duty to protect my family members, there will be no enjoyment. So you are posing different arguments with good amount of logic, so you are talking like a pandita, but at the same time you are asochvan anva sochastam. You are lamenting for something which is not worthy of lamentation. The Supreme Person of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you were mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So, like that, Krishna starts. Hmm. So, then Krishna says further. So, Krishna starts hinting about the soul in this verse. नात्वेबाहं जातु नाशं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिप न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयामतः परम् ना tu eva aham jatu na asham. There was no time when I and you did not exist. Na tvam neme janadhipa. There was no time when I did not exist. There was no time when you did not exist. There was no time when this janadhipa, all these kings, did not exist. That means we all are existing eternally in some form of body or another. But the soul is indestructible. Nachayvana bhavishyama, and in the future also we will continue to exist. Sarve vayamata param. We are like that only. Never there was a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in future shall any of us cease to be. So that means soul is eternal. First understand this thing. This is the root of all your confusion. So I think this part we should read. So yeah, Nilanjan Prabhu.
In the Vedas, first in the Katha Upanishad, as well as in the Chaturanga Upanishad, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of innumerable living entities. When found under different situations according to individual work and reaction of work, that Supreme Personality of Godhead is also wise and himself, and when in the heart of every living being. Only saintly persons who can see within and without the same supreme Lord can actually attain to perfect and eternal peace. Nitya Nityanam Chetana Chetana Vibhovanam Vivat Abhidhamam Tam Atmastam Yesna Yanipasya Jas Yesam Santi Satvati Nirtadis. The conclusion is 1:30. to all persons in this world who post themselves as very learned, but actually have wonderful sense of knowledge. The Lord said clearly that He Himself, Arjuna, and all the kings were assembled on the battlefield, and eternally immortal beings, and that the Lord all the kings assembled there and delivered it us. Is not that difficult existed because in the past, and it is not that they will not separated by the combining of Maya or illusion, where mind is the historical Brahman and individual existence is not supported during the darkness, the supreme. Nor is the theory that is only but the practitioners get supported. Krishna clearly says that the nature of the spirituality of the Lord and others as it is confirming the concept in the this statement of Krishna's is contradictory because Krishna cannot be simultaneous with individuality and not attachment. Krishna would not have said it before, even for the future. And I have to say, individuality spoken of by Krishna is not spiritual, but material. When accepting the argument that individuality is material, then how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna has some accounts his individuality in the past and individuality in the past and confirms his individuality in the future. He has confirmed his individuality in many ways and confirmed doctrine as soon as supported. Krishna has maintained social individuality model. He has maintained a national spiritual consensus. Anything under Krishna has no value as authentic scripture. But common man is called upon because of human crazy is unable to teach that which is what the Gita is above such literature. No one compares with the Bhagavad Gita. When one accepts Krishna as an ordinary man, Krishna is the non-universe. The environment and things that Gita mentioned in his words is conventional and man is able to the body. But it is
Yeah. So Prabhupada never leaves any scope to devastate the Mayavad philosophy. So the Mayavadi philosophy is that after liberation, the soul loses its individuality and merges with the Supreme Brahman. But Prabhupada refuted that argument with so many explanations. We can see that if individuality is material, then what about Krishna's individuality? Krishna is always spiritual, and then there are many flaws we discussed. So in this way we see that Prabhupada always warning us that if we have to understand Gita, then we must be away from the Mayavadis. Otherwise we cannot grasp the true message of Gita. So then 2.13, very famous verse. Krishna says, Dehinosmin jatha dehe kaumaram jovanam jara tatha dehantaro praptir dhiras tatrana mujjati. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So Krishna is telling a very introspective thing. If we think that this death is nothing but change of body, we all have the experience of changing body in this lifetime only. Recently there is a biological study and it says that different cells of our body take different kinds of rejuvenation time, different organs of our body. That means by the process of cell division, new cells are generated and the old dead cells, they are eliminated from our body. So in this process every organ regenerates and that has a period. So now approximately in 7 years almost all our organs are regenerated. So from that perspective we can say that every 7 years we have a new body. And here Krishna is telling, Dehinosmin jatha dehe kaumaram jovanam jara tatha dehantaro prapti dhiras tatrana mujjati. The body in the kaumar state, or when I am below 5 years, that is different from the body of youth, and that is different from the body in old age. So in the same lifetime you have experienced the change of body many times, every 7 years according to modern science. Then death is another change of body. What is there for bewilderment? Therefore a dhira, who is a sober person, is not bewildered by such a change. Who knows the true knowledge of the soul is not bewildered. So then Krishna says, Matra sparsastu kwanteya sitosna sukha dukkhada agama paino nityastam tatikshvasva bharata. So soul does not change. Whatever tribulations, ups and downs, those are related to this material world and this material body. So just tolerate all those changes. You are eternal. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer. After winter, summer comes. After summer, winter comes. Similarly, after happiness, our distress comes, and after distress, happiness comes. So this is cyclic. That keeps on going. You can observe that you are happy for some days and then again some problem comes, you are very much worried and you overcome that problem, you become happy for some days, again some problem comes. So this is the nature of this world. So do not worry so much about this, just keep on working your perform prescribed duties, do your devotional duties and just tolerate this material world. They arise from sense perception, ocean of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. That is the nature of a dhira. They can tolerate. 2.15 Yam hina vyathayantyate purusham purusharshava samadukha sukham dhiram somritattvaya kalpate. Best among men, or Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. So if you can remain like that, you are an eligible candidate for liberation, right? So up to 30 Krishna will discuss this Atma Tattva. न सतो विद्यते भावो न भवो विद्यते शत उभयरापि दृष्टन्त्यास् tvayannastatadarshini. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that the non-existent or this material body is non-existent. That means it does not have any permanent existence. It is temporary. There is no endurance. So we cannot preserve this. This body is naswar and we cannot preserve this. And the eternal, the soul, there is no change. We cannot destroy it. This they have concluded by studying nature of both. Na sato vidyate bhava, na bhavo vidyate sato. Na sato, na asato means that which is non-existent means that matter or this material body is not meant to stay permanently. So we cannot make that permanent. And for the soul, it is meant to be permanent. We cannot make it temporary. So by composition, these two things are different, spirit and matter. Right? We have to understand this. The spirit and matter by composition, they are different. Spirit is by composition, it is eternal, we cannot destroy. And matter is by composition temporary, we cannot make it permanent. अविनाशी तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशम् अव्ययायस्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. That which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. So because the nature of the soul is permanent or Satchidanand eternal, nobody can destroy it. The size of the soul is mentioned. Balagrasata bhagasya satadha kalpitasya cha bhago jiva sa vikkeya sa cha anantasya kalpate. Sacha anantaya kalpate. When the upper point of the hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of the such parts is divided into 100 parts, means 1 by 10,000, 1/10,000 part of a tip of a hair. Another reference saying the same thing. It's about soul. It is explained in the Mundaka Upanishad. The measurement of the atomic spirit soul is further explained. Eshanuratma chetasa veditabhyo jasmin prana panchadha sannivesha pranaishchittam sarvamotam prajanam jasmin vishuddhe vibhavatesha atma. The soul is atomic in size, can be perceived by perfect intelligence. The atomic soul is floating in 5 kinds of air: prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana. It is situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body. The embodied living entity is when the soul is purified from contamination of the 5 kinds of material air, the spiritual influence is exhibited. So about the soul, some information is given, and then Krishna elaborates on this soul. Antavanta ime deha nitya shukta sharirina anashina pramayasya tasmat yuddhasva bharata. The material body is indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is here to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity. So this is one phrase: indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity. So the living entity is eternal, but the material body of such living entity is here to come to an end. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that you are thinking that if I do not kill my relatives, they will be living forever. Do you think this? Anyway, they will come to an end. In the 11th chapter, Krishna is showing the Kala Rupa, and in that Kala Rupa, Arjuna is seeing that all the warriors except those Pandavas, everyone is entering the fire of destruction, entering the mouth of Krishna in his Kala form. So Krishna is telling, see, you are thinking that if you do not fight, they will live forever. I have descended here for paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya duskritam, and this is my decision that except you Pandavas, everyone will be destroyed. So because I have desired that, immediately that is executed. न तस्य कार्यं कारणं च विद्यते न तत्समश्च दृश्यते परस्य शक्तिर्विविधैव श्रूयते स्वाभाविकी ज्ञानबलक्रिया च. Whenever Lord desires anything, his multifarious energies immediately execute that. So only it is, we have to wait for some time. The desire of the Lord will be manifested. Because the Lord has desired, it is sure to happen. So Lord is telling Arjuna that if you think that if you do not fight, they will live forever, you are in illusion. I have already decided that they will be destroyed, so they are already destroyed. Now you can fight, you can become an instrument. Nimitta matra bhavashabhyasachi. You can become an instrument and people will glorify you that you fought this great war of Kurukshetra and became victorious. I can make you that. But if you do not fight also, everyone will be killed. Of that there is no doubt. So Krishna is telling the same thing here. Do not think that if you do not fight, they will be living forever. So this is destroying the compassion argument, that do not have compassion on them on the basis of bodily relationships. You are spirit soul, and anyway you cannot protect them because their material body has to come to an end by any means. If you do not fight also, their material body will perish someday. Ya enam vetti hantaram yaschainam mannate hatam ubhau tau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. Neither he who thinks the living entity is the slayer, nor he who thinks it is slain, is in knowledge. For the self slays, nor the slain, nor is slain. So the living entity is never slain. We know that. Because the living entity is eternal. Na hannate hanne mane sarire. You can kill the body, but you cannot kill the soul. And the living entity is not the slayer also. Because the living entity or the soul, they cannot do anything. Soul cannot do anything. Prakrite kriya manani gunai karmani sarvasa. Ahankara bimudatma karta ahamiti manyate. Only one who is ahankara bimudatma, very much illusioned by false ego, they only think that I am the doer. Otherwise the living entity cannot do anything. Living entity just can desire. Supreme Personality of Godhead as Paramatma sanctions and material nature executes. So one who is in proper knowledge, he does not think that the living entity is doing something or slayer, or the living entity is slain. Living entity is neither the slayer nor the slain. We can just desire, and our only duty is to align our desire with the desire of the God. That is the perfection. We cannot do anything. Arjuna is fighting in the battlefield, but that is, Arjuna as a soul is desiring to fight by hearing from Krishna, and then Krishna as Paramatma is sanctioning that Arjuna is desiring to fight. Okay, sanctioned. Then material nature is moving our hands and legs because this body is made up of material nature. Material nature can control this body, soul cannot control this body. In illusion we may think I am studying, I am working, I am doing, I am managing, but actually there is no connection between this body and the soul. If you want to eat something also, we have to desire that I want to eat, then Paramatma will sanction that activity. Paramatma will order material nature that move this living entity's right hand in such a way that food particle reaches the mouth. In this way everything is executed. So the living entity is nor the slayer, neither the slayer nor is slain. One who knows this is in perfect knowledge. So then 2.20 न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana. Ajo means no birth. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is eternal. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So we know that there is a similar verse in the Katha Upanishad. Prabhupada is quoting that verse also. You can see. And what is the difference between soul and super soul? That is explained here. Anoraniyan mahato mahiyam atmasya jantor nihita bhajam tam akruta pashyati vita shokam dhatu prasadam mahimanam atmana. Both the super soul and the atomic soul are situated on the same tree of the body. The similar verse is there in the Mundaka Upanishad also. Samane vrikshe purusho nimagno nishaya sochati muhyamana justam jada pashyati yannamesha mashra mahimana midivita shoka. And only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentations can by the grace of the Supreme understand the glories of the soul. So there are two souls, soul and super soul. Further explanation will be there in 13th chapter, two kinds of Kshetragyas, soul and super soul. Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajam avyayam katham sha purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? So now, if one knows that soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable, then soul cannot be killed. This is further explanation of that verse that the living entity is neither the slayer nor the slain, because the living entity is indestructible. So suppose Arjuna kills some warrior in the battlefield, suppose. So that warrior is not killed. So the living entity is not slain. And now Arjuna has just killed the material body. Arjuna has not killed the living entity. Therefore Arjuna is not the killer. And that warrior is also not the killed. Or in other words, Arjuna is not the slayer and the living entity is not, and that warrior is not slain. So due to the indestructible nature of the soul, these terms slain and slayer are invalid. So therefore, Krishna is telling that your argument of compassion is also invalid. Because nobody is going to be killed and there is nobody is going to kill. There is some change of body is going to happen here. Nothing else. No killing activity is involved only. So come out of your illusion. You are in illusion, you are thinking that I am killing and I am doing everything. Just change of body is happening in this verse illustrated. Vasamsi jirnani jatha vihaya navani grinnati naroparani tatha sarirani vihaya jirnani annani samyati navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. There is no activity called killing involved here. So that verse is quoted here. Samane viksha purusho nimagno nisaya shochati muhyamana. In this verse also Prabhupada is refuting Mayavad in the Purport. So this will be our last verse of the day. Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavaka nachainam kledayantyapo nashoshayati maruta. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Purport, Rahul Prabhu.
All kinds of weapons, swords, means all kinds of weapons, swords, means weapons, fire weapons, command weapons, etc. are unable to kill the soul. Such as that there many kinds of weapons made of wood, water, steel, etc. Sufficient to the modern weapons in seven. Even the nuclear weapons are modern in the third seven, however.
Hmm. Yeah, so clearly you can see the refutation of Mayavad. So soul does not lose the individuality after liberation. Okay, so we will stop here. We will continue from verse number 24. So this is a quite long chapter. Second one, 72 verses are there. So this will take maybe another 2 classes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.